What's the best job for a lazy person? Security guard. Source, been on Reddit the whole shift. Edit, now on my next night shift and so many notifications and even 2 golds. Just to answer a few questions, it's a shipyard facility. During the day it's checking out bags and cars coming in and out, giving temporary passes and few phone calls. Night shift, what can I say? Reddit, cable TV or Heroes 3 on my shitty old laptop. Work schedule, day shift, night shift then 2 days off. Honestly, even if I wasn't on Reddit it'd be stupid easy to sneak past me. According to my contract I'm not allowed to stop people unless the badge reader doesn't recognize their card, in which case it beeps to let me know I need to walk over there and see what's going on. 90% of this job is buzzing guests in, 7% is writing my activity report, 12 o'clock, at post all okay, 1 o'clock, at post all okay, repeat ad nauseum, and the remaining 3% is deadbolting the door at the end of the night. Edit, because apparently this is an issue for some of you, I will admit that 3% is probably an exaggeration of how long it takes to lock a door. However, I would like to backtrack and say that I feel the percentages are actually based on the amount of effort each task requires out of my total effort expended per shift, rather than the time taken to do it. In short, I am right, and y'all are a bunch of nerds who probably haven't even been rejected from the police academy like the real hero here, me. Back in college, I was a computer lab monitor. I just had to sit in the lab, and once every hour count the number of people there. If I was opening or closing the lab, there was about 15 minutes of work for that, but otherwise I could just surf the web or do my homework. I had this job in college. I did 2 things. Toward the end of the term periodically yell, if you are on Babo, Facebook, or any other non-academic site, please make room for students that need a computer. The printer also had a green button that needed to be pressed once a paper tray was depleted so it would draw from the other tray. There was a sign above the printer that said this, a sign on the printer that said this, and a sign by the queue to the printer. Still, I'd constantly have to deal with this issue. The printer's not working. Did you press the green button? Yes, so if I go over there and press the green button, nothing will happen. Yes, inevitably I'd press the green button and it would start printing away. I still have no idea why this would always happen. The failure to read and then the lying about having pressed the button. But as far as jobs go, this was pretty sweet. Though more busy than a parking lot security guard, which is what I came in here to suggest. I'm a backstage doorman at a Broadway theater. I sit around watching Netflix and Hulu and all that shit all day. If I'm feeling ambitious I'll read a book or write some stand-up material. It's a pretty sweet gig and perfect for the laziest of people. I can't tell if you're joking or not, but there is honestly nothing that I want to do and it makes it difficult. Don't really have a drive and don't really have anything I'm crazy about doing that I can make money doing. I envy people that know what they want to do and work towards it. At least they have direction. Honestly, that's how I felt until I just forced myself to start learning more about those things I know I can excel in. The greatest motivator came from the fact that I was finally feeling like I was progressing. In anything. Getting started is absolutely the fucking hardest part by FAAAAR. And I'm just now slowly recognizing that enough to push myself through that motivational drought when it pops up. Definitely not all the time, but holy shit, even just a little bit of what finally feels like progress to you makes a world of difference. So much of life is up to chance and random opportunity. I find it extremely hard to focus on one interest, and for a long time it felt like I had no real focus because of that. But as time has gone on, that outlook and lack of a singular commitment has paid off in ways I couldn't have imagined. I worked as a security guard for a trucking company on the weekends. The rest of the company conveniently didn't work weekends, so I had the whole place to myself. I worked 12-hour days and walked around a small wing of the property every hour and documented anything that was out of the ordinary. Almost nothing was ever out of the ordinary. Other than that, I didn't do anything. It was actually really boring because the guardhouse was outside of the Wi-Fi area, so I blew through my phone data really fast. To cure the boredom and ease my phone bill, I bought a portable DVD player and watched every DVD I had. I used to go to the factory where they make giant rotating machinery for power plant generators. It would take a week or more to machine these giant disks, and the machinist just sat there watching this giant, computer-operated machine do all the work. If an error popped up, the machine would stop, sound an alarm on the computer, and the machinist would pick up the phone and call an engineer to come fix it. Also, they didn't do any of the removal or setup, that was done by a team of engineers and transport folks. $30 per hour. I'm an analyst. I taught myself a bunch of stuff, and spent a bunch of time automating things because I'm too lazy to do them every day per week per month. The person that sit on a chair in the museum. They just sit there in one of the most quiet places I visit. And when a person stands too close to an artwork, they just cough a little and tell you to step back. 10 out of 10. People really don't give enough credit to interview questions. Almost all of the questions, in some cases, they ask to gauge your response more than for an actual answer. Nobody interviewing you for a cash job at Walmart expects you to be a passionate lifer about wearing a blue vest and scanning groceries. They want people that aren't so far inside their own ass that, I just want money lol, manages to slip out. At least show the willingness to think and empathize. Consider what they want to hear, and give them some version of that. And for the love of God, unless you want to work for a slaver who's going to end up not paying you, do not tell anyone that your hobbies consist of just working. It doesn't make you look like a hard worker, it makes you look dull. Tell them you like gaming, it's fine. Lifeguard at the Olympics. A guy on the surveying crew has the job of watching a surveying GPS unit all day. He gets dropped off with the unit, sets it up and sits there and makes sure it doesn't get stolen and that the blue light is still on. That's all he does every day, day after day. He thinks his job is the greatest thing ever. Find a remote data entry job and outsource it to someone who will do it for cheaper. Let them do your job and just collect the difference. A lot of IT-related office jobs at big companies involve a lot of downtime for one reason or another, where you're just sitting around waiting for work to come in. Just be careful what you wish for. I did a 6-month work placement at a place doing QC on medical data entry. It was as riveting as it sounds, and due to poor management there were massive stretches of time, like more than a solid week, where there was nothing for us to do. We were literally begging for work because we were so fucking bored. If someone had asked me to start hoovering the carpets, I would have jumped at the chance. Creative IT jobs like the video games and special effects industries are major exceptions. Anyone else scrolling through the comments looking for job opportunities? Toll booth worker. In middle school I had a classmate who did a 4-week internship at a company where they sent him to the gateman. We had some forms to fill for our report in school, and this guy just wrote the most awesome stories the gateman had to tell about his job. My favorite was, when I'm bored, and I am damn often bored, I act entitled and punish those drivers who ring the bell angrily. I then let them wait for an extra 20 seconds before I let them in. Answering my classmate's question, what was the most critical situation at your job? The gateman said, I once went to the toilet. It was one of these boring Friday afternoons where no fucking body comes in as folks are home early. When I came back, I found one of our customers with his whole fucking entourage queuing up at the gate. 3 fucking vehicles. I dropped my newspaper and hit that gate open button like it could save my life, and boy it did. They just drove past my booth. Lucky me. And that's the story when my bowel movement almost cost me my job. When I'm bored, and I am damn often bored, I act entitled and punish those drivers who ring the bell angrily. I then let them wait for an extra 20 seconds before I let them in. You can sit there slowly aging, you can ring the bell irate. And you might be madly raging, but I'm keeper of the gate. You can get all agitated, you can curse your fury fate, and you might be aggravated, but I'm keeper of the gate. You can blast my name on Twitter, you can argue and berate, and you might be getting bitter, but I'm keeper of the gate. You can sit there busy hating, 'cause you know it's getting late, for you might be sick of waiting. But I'm keeper of the gate. Wise admin, I hate my life. I've automated 85% of my job. I'd be shocked if I worked more than 4 hours on an average week. It sounds great, but fuck, it's boring sitting here surfing tomorrow's Reddit today. Managing cloud services is just another line in the job description for sysadmins. There's less work involved due to no on-site hardware, but it's still something that someone with an IT background should be doing. The cloud is also not as cheap as everyone makes it out to be. It's very, very easy to spend way more over 5 years on cloud services versus what it'd cost to buy the hardware and run it in-house in that same time period. My job, I'm basically ignored by everyone and wasting all my day on Reddit. I'm starting to wonder how long it will last. I'm working for a plumbing contractor as a project manager, but 95% of stuff is managed on site, so they don't need me most of the time. I have this huge 12 feet by 14 feet office with multiple monitors and nobody can see or want to know what I do, so I wait for the phone calls and place some orders here and there and Reddit all day. The salary is $65K per year, CAD. Copy editor. You can pretty much work out of your own home and be a professional grammar Nazi. Pay is meh, but it's really not bad once you build up a client base, since you can literally sit on your ass for hours if your grasp on the language is strong. Edit, I should probably clarify, I do this part-time after I get home from my main office job. I consider it lazy because I can sit in my own home office and dedicate what time I wish to it, and it requires no specialized equipment besides a laptop.